Hi guys, Arachnobeth here, and today I'm going to be showing you all the teas I picked up at the Southern Invert Show. Okay, so here I have 8 slings. Oh, sorry. Here I have 8 tarantulas that I bought from the Southern Invert Show on the 18th of November. I did buy from 3 different stores on this day. If you didn't go, I seriously recommend going to one of the shows next year. This was the last show of the year, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And anybody who are interested in any inverts would have absolutely loved the day out. So, to start with, I pre-ordered these 2 slings from So Many Eggs, so let's take a look at these first. In here we have Avicularia Pucallpa. Let's take a little look inside. Ooh, it's actually molted quite recently. So there's the sling there. I'll just take the molt out. So there is the molt. I've named this one Lavender. These guys come from Peru, and obviously, as you can see, they're an arboreal tarantula. They get between 12 and 14 centimetres in length. Generally a docile tarantula, but can be quite jumpy. Females live 10 to 12 years, males 3 to 4. So typical for most Avicularia species. So I will just pop the lid back on it. And in here we have Lasiodoredes Striatus. So let's have a look inside. So yeah, it's only a tiny little sling at the moment. Its common name is the Peruvian orange stripe. So these guys will have nice orange stripes on their knees. These guys also come from Peru. They are terrestrial species, getting between 15 and 18 centimetres. They're a generally calm species, but they can be skittish. Females getting between 25 to 30 years old, whereas males 7 to 10, so they're a nice long-lived tarantula. And this one I have named Victor. So those 2 guys I got from So Many Legs in Essex. They also post, and I've had these guys post to me before, and they're absolutely brilliant. Would certainly recommend them. Okay, so these next 3 teas I am going to show you over the bed, just because they're quite large, and if they ran off I need a slightly bigger surface area for them to run across. Okay, so start off with the bottom one. This is now my biggest tarantula. Okay, in here we have Aphonopelma Semanni, or the Costa Rican zebra knee. So this one's quite skittish, so I will just take off the lid very, very slowly. So yeah, there is the Aphonopelma Semanni, or Costa Rican zebra knee. These guys are a big terrestrial tarantula. They get between 12 and 15 centimetres and are a very skittish species of tarantula. A lot of people make them out to be quite docile. It's not always the case. They can be very, very skittish. Females live between 15 and 20 years, males 3 to 5. But no, really beautiful species of tarantula. This one I have called Scabbers. I've not actually sexed it yet. I will at some point. Hopefully it'll molt, and then will give me a nice indicator of whether it's a male or a female. Nice. Okay, so next up we will have a look at this one in the tube. This is Avicularia Metallica, or the metallic pink-toed tarantula. And this one I actually had sexed at the show. And they thought it was a female, which was quite nice. These guys come from Colombia. They're an arboreal tarantula, hence the long tube. They're generally a docile species, getting between 10 and 12 centimetres length. Females live 10 to 12 years, whereas males 3 to 4, so again, pretty typical of a Avicularia species. And this one I have called Pixie. On her abdomen there, she's like a red colour, and her carapace is a nice blue. She has gone a lot duller, like I said, since I've had her, so she is probably due a molt. So I won't actually... I think I'll just leave her be now. Okay, and our last one from this particular supplier. I don't know if I mentioned, actually, the supplier I got these three guys from. It was the British Tarantula Society. Okay. This one has got attitude. Doesn't bite, usually, just flicks hairs at me. But very photogenic spider, it always seems to take the most beautiful photographs. Here I have Brachypelma Auratum, or the Mexican flame knee. And she's just underneath that piece of cork bark there. Again, another terrestrial species, 12 to 15 centimetres, said to be quite docile. She does flick hairs occasionally. This is Romilda. Really nice long-lived tarantula, getting between 25 and 30 years old. Males getting 7 to 10. But no, an absolutely beautiful tarantula. I'll just put the light over. You can see much more colour in the knees than your normal Brachypelma homori. Really, really stunning. You can see she's got a little bit of a boldy bum, but not majorly bold. Yeah, this one did have some nice mosses and things in her enclosure, but she has just completely buried them, which was annoying. And she's now going to go for a little stroll up my arm. And you pop it. Okay, so now we're down to the last three species that I picked up from the show. So let's start off with the two slings, and then we'll end up on another big tarantula. Okay, so in this one we have Avicularia Kwitara, or the giant green pink toe. Okay, so there it is, right at the top. So yeah, typical Avicularia sling. The orange colour with the little blue toes. These guys come from Guyana. They're an arboreal species, get between 15 and 17 centimetres, so they're much bigger than your average Avicularia, hence the giant green pink toe. Females live 12 to 15 years and males 3 to 7, so again that's longer than your average Avicularia species. This one I have called Salazar. And these last three tarantulas come from the Spider Shop, who are in Wales. Again, they post and they are absolutely brilliant company, would give you any advice that you need, and absolutely amazing tarantulas. So yeah, he's only tiny, so we'll just... Next we have Euthalus species red, or the dwarf Chilean flame. And this is a species I have been looking for since I got into tarantulas. It was one of the recommended beginner species. But as you can see, whoa! As you can see, it's still a very tiny sling at the moment. These guys will get between 8 and 10 centimetres. They're a very docile tarantula. Females will live 12 to 15 years, males 3 to 10, so that's slightly longer than your Cosmos dwarf tarantulas. He looks a little bit upset, but I have put the light on him. So now we're on to our last tarantula that I got from the Southern Invert Show. This is Aphonopelma Chalcodes, or this is actually the New River Rust Rump. variation rather than the Arizona Blonde. From what I've been reading up about these guys, the New River Rust Rump haven't actually got their own Latin name at the moment. Whether they get one or not will be, I'm not sure, because they could just be a subspecies of Aphonopelma Chalcodes, which is the Arizona Blonde. But these guys are a slightly more tainted orange colour than your Arizona Blonde. Coming from the same region though, still coming from Arizona. They are terrestrial, getting between 13 and 15 centimetres, and these are the BFG of the tarantula world. Absolutely amazingly docile. Brilliant for beginners, although you do get the odd edgy one or aggressive one, as with most species. Oh, as with all species. But this one I have found is so docile, it's absolutely amazing to handle. Really slow moving. I've called this one Albus. But no, I would recommend these to any beginner. But no, absolutely stunning spider. You don't really imagine to see like a blonde or yellow colour tarantula. However, the Brazilian black I would put as number 2 on my list for beginner tarantulas. Again, because of their nature. But this is just an absolute beauty. And he would quite happily be out all day, he's really not fussed. My hand's quite warm, so he's wanting to just sit there and I'm just moving him along. So I'll just put him away now. Go on. There you go, it's your house. And this is the only other time I've seen him run is when you're putting the lid on. So yeah, you see he jumped forward a little bit. But there we go. Thanks ever so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed my video, and if you did go to the Southern Invert Show, really hope you enjoyed that as well. And I look forward to showing you these guys again later on in feeding videos and molting, etc, etc. So thanks very much, and I'll see you again.